Hello everyone, hope you guys are doing good. We're just gonna go straight in. We have Gaov against Red Eye. For the war it is going to be Sensei against SEM, Supreme European Monarchs. You guys know both teams, and I'm gonna try to explain it after I launch the duel. Let me also put the other play, which is Red Eye, and then we're good to go. Good luck to both teams on today's war. And also before I forget anything, the predictions of course I'm gonna have to begin them.
Duel!
Alright, throwing in the predictions, so you guys know it is optional. You guys mainly care for the war, enjoy watching. So Red Eye is gonna begin first with Thunder Dragons. Gonna be Destiny Draw as a skill, in my opinion. Could be possible to see, in my opinion, Draw and Spell Trap still, but I don't think we will see it as much, but it can be something you get to see, you never know. So before I forget, week 5 that's gonna be written, and hello to you Holistic, has been a while. Hope you're doing good. And also big thanks to Z plus Z, who's going to be the referee of this match as well. On the bottom, Galvez is going to be with Automat. So in this position, the Automat, if it wasn't playing in the first turn, I do think they will have a better advantage, because it's you want to get the Bonzer on the field. But he's still second, he will have at some point plays, and if Red Eye doesn't have any hand trap, then Galvez is going to be in a nice position. Goes for the attack, fair enough. Although this is pretty much going to allow Red Eye to accelerate, be able to throw in the Dragon Dart that he just drew. But fair enough. Oof, banishing immediately for 11 here on the field. Ooh, gets Void Trap Hole. So the effect of landing here is going to be negated. And it all depends if Red Eye has a way to be able to special summon more monsters or not. By the way, just switching very quickly the names because Red Eye is on the top and Gav is on the bottom. Alright, discarding the Dragon Roar to be able to get back the Hulk. This is still gonna allow him to go for some tempo. So he will have a monster on the field, but then Red Eye has to rely on the fact if he has hand traps or not. And if he doesn't have hand traps, I do think Gav has the domination. That Void Trap Hole really was clean here, destroying the Lavinia, but this is a Dragon Duel that actually comes by. He will try to go for the push, trying to destroy the monster, but it's not going to be useful. Forbidden Lance is going to come immediately, and that's going to destroy the Dragon Duel. So at that point, I do think the lead goes for Gav. Doesn't going to have too much for push. Alright, so he's using first of all the effect of M7. He's not going to bounce the level 6. He's going to go get back the sister to be able to, in my opinion, get the Gagaga Bolt, is what I think. It's 35 head thinking as per usual. I mean, I always try. You know, if a streamer don't really get to analyze some matches, I do think they will miss the competitive kind of side, you know. And I think it's always fun analyzing, you know. Hello du genou. What's up, Maurice? Alright, he's going to summon Sister again and get to special summon the code. to yet again go for another rank 6. Now, he will have a second MS7. He does have another M7, and this is gonna be probably game. One attack is gonna be enough for game, and if Red Eye has one hand trap and not two, that's gonna be the... So, does he have some? He is having a Sphere Karibo, that's the first one. And he does have another one. Now what's gonna matter, of course, is gonna be the graveyard. He's discarding the Dragon Dog, gets to draw again. Yet again, all of that just to be able to get more cards on the grave, as well as also be able to potentially draw for something good, ideally having a Levianeer. So I think there's still one issue. If he wants to get the Levianeer, he should get a light element on the graveyard, and the only one he can have will be in that position a Hulk. If he has another Hulk, and he also gets a way to get Levianeers, he can sort of push the opponent monsters. Alright, he's gonna be using the effect of the Roar, gets the Hulk. So far, Red Eye is maybe able to come back, but it really depends on what he has in hand. If no Levianeer, I don't really see him being able to push enough. Though he can force the back row, but then you have an M7 that can bounce back one of the cards. Both cards having 2000 defense as well. Okay, so right now he's using the effect of the hook. He's gonna special summon that roar back again, which will be enough to destroy one of the M7. Ooh, only attacking, so no Levianeer. And that forced the Fiendish. Yeah, that's gonna be an understandable scoop. So that's gonna be a first point for Sensei. 1-0 so far. Let me also see if there's not going to be any repeats, though I don't think there's going to be any. I do think it's still possible, talking about the deck that they sent first. So it is still possible to me to see the team deciding to go for repeats. But let's see what kind of decision they're going to make and wait so far. Alright, so far nothing. I don't know if there's a Shadow Duel, actually. No, there's not. Alright, actually, let me just verify that very fast. No, okay, there's just one duel indeed. Alright, so it does look that they're going to not use the repeat, Red Eye going with the second deck. And now let's see what deck they decide to bring in. Okay, I guess this duel is not gonna count, that should be a DC, I guess. If it is taking 10 seconds, it's generally going to be a DC, so... Okay, that's gonna be a mirror match. I don't know what's gonna happen. I was right about the fake duel. We haven't seen that. Right. Let's try again. Hopefully we can join in. Yeah, fair enough. So that's gonna be a mirror match on the mat here. Now you can still take the gamble here to try to go for the automat mirror match, but I can understand the decision as well. Like, keeping the automats as much as possible is something that any team will want to have, or like want to do. Alright, beginning fairly enough, doing a sister and gets to draw the win. Alright, has the code, has the sister. He's gonna be able to go for an Xyz if he wants. Else he, I guess, is going to remain with 2 monsters on the field, but because he used the effect of sister, it's still going to be a bouncer. I don't think there's like many people that are letting, you know, 2 monsters on the field, like back then. Some people were doing this just to like have more monsters on the field, instead of having an Xyz that just gets, you know, Book of Moon, or even Forbidden Chalice. Basically having the monster unable to use the effect. But the fact that now you have automats being able to use some staples more often, especially set them, you can actually go for that. Try to defend your bouncer from some cards, and you're pretty fine. Alright, there's going to be an instant Book of Moon on the Bonzer. This is going to allow Gelf to go for the place he wants. He goes for the Automata play here, switching the code for the sister. Potential mirror play, I will say, gets the Gagaga bot. And he's gonna go for that instant Gagaga Ball, destroying one of the back row, destroys the opposing Gagaga Balls. Setting 3 cards, taking the time. That was an interesting peek here. And Red Eye is gonna keep the Bonzer, of course, gets to summon the Utopic Onomatopoeia. And now trying to go for the attack. The Fiendish Shane is going to try to intervene for now. And he is going to take the effect of the Fiendish. I do think I realize what kind of play there's going to be, and if it is what I think, it can be very good. If Red Eye has the Forbidden Lance, you will see Bonzer being able to use the effect, and that's because you get Forbidden Lance used on the Bonzer, and the Fiendish Shane is not going to be able to reply. Yep. What I thought exactly. Or, yeah, Book of Moon as well, which is going to be one of the solutions. So now the Bonzer has negated the effect of the head, and the Bonzer destroyed. I do think it is still fine for Red Eye. Although he's lacking sources. Though, you still have to think that negating a head is still going to slow down a lot on the mat, because you want to be able in general to get these Xyzs done. And a Fiendish Shane is also going to reply against the head, so Gelf cannot attack. Red Eye sending another card, not having a monster so far. Gelf is about to take the lead depending on the cards he has. Both of the players have 2 set cards, but Gelf doesn't summon anything, he's going to pass turn. Because he's obviously blocked by the Fiendish. And Red Eye is going to use the Onomata play, I think that is the first one. Right now he's going to tribute the Utopic, and because he tributed it, the level remains unchanged, it is going to be level 6. Alright, targeting the classic cards, which is going to be targeting Sister along with the coat. So a lot of special summons here, and the Sister so far being allowed to use the effect. will target the code and know everyone is level 6. Alright, Red Eye going for the Ptolemy M7. Now he can decide to target either the head or the sister. It's one of the two cards. Alright, so Red Eye thinking the movement so far. He's trying to think who to actually retrieve from the graveyard, which we can actually go and check. So for the monster, yeah, he doesn't have the sister because it is still one of the overlays. He's gonna go and pick the head. I think there was no choice indeed. Because then he could also decide to use the code if he wants. And then special summon the topic. Forbidden Lance being used so far, but then the other Forbidden Lance on the side of Red Eye as well is gonna reply. And now the head is going to be destroyed. Is this still going to be enough though? Not enough for lethal. The second Forbidden Lance is going to allow Galv to save a bit of time. He doesn't have to worry so much about the negates. And he does have the MST. And 2 backers again. And the card he destroyed actually with the MST is just going to be a Gaga win, so I do think that is indeed going to be GG. That's going to be 1-1 here. Very solid plays on the side of Red Eye here, trying to stop the Galv. So now instead Galv is going to have to go for the second deck, and he is going to have to fight an Onomat. The question is if he has the counter. We will have to check it out. Alright, so from the looks of it, I'm going to suppose it is Gaia, but it is still possible to see Thunder Dragon. So let's see.
Duel!
And I think there's no way this is Gaia because 28 cards. Unless you have done your own build, which is still possible. Alright, so first turn going for Red Eye, he's going to be able to go for a lot of setups here. And because you have the first turn, you will get the Bonzer, eventually. And that's going to be your very big advantage. Alright, he went for the Dodo draw so far. So he's getting quite the setup. He has a chance to go for the entire setup, which is Bonzer and the Rogue. Still 1 Rogue. If he gets that, I do think it is almost GG. And hello, Xyz Dragon, I hope you're doing good. Alright, classic move. He's gonna get the Bonzer first. And doesn't seem he had any other level or any monster in hand. Hence why he decided to use the Utopic from the field to make the Xyz for Bonzer. Yeah, fair enough. The Bonzer is still gonna be nice for tempo, but there's actually one issue. And that issue is going to be that if there's any monster banished from the grave when Levianeer is actually being summoned, if there's one of these banished monsters that uses its effect, Bonzer cannot negate it. So Levianeer could only be negated with a spell trap. Alright, so the Hawk using its effects, special summoning the Dragon Dog, will get tribute, but I don't think he's gonna go for anything else. And he goes for Suicide. I do think there's a break. Doesn't seem he had any Levianeer and all, but that is going to be a loss that hurts. Second point going for SEM. And Galva's gonna have to be out. Well, that was a duel that I didn't think it's gonna end fast, but sometimes it does. But yeah, there's one thing that is important concerning the matchup here. Actually, I was wrong for the decks. Wait a second. Yeah, okay, that's correct. Oh, it's not correct enough. Golf has no more deck, so we're waiting for the next player right now. Actually, I've been commentating very fast the games, but I forgot to actually present the two teams for this hour just coming by. So, Sensei is a team that exists since 2018, but actually has been pretty new on Team Wars since 2021, from Season 9, and they actually achieved top 12. And SEM is a long-time running team. I do believe it exists as well since 2018, but they have been playing Team Wars way more, and other leagues such as Clan Wars. It's one of the biggest teams. And surprisingly, they have 1 win and 3 losses so far. No, they still can come back though. It's not impossible for a team that has 3 losses or 4 on a division, because you will have 6 other weeks. So comebacks are definitively possible. And on the other side, as you can see, Sensei has a perfect win streak going on so far. And the question is if they can maintain as much wins as possible. Alright, so my turn is going to be the next player. And let's just spectate immediately. Let's see what deck they decided to send against the Onomat. Alright, so that is going to be Yamiyugi, which could be another Thunder Dragon actually. Pretty much the same second turn for the Thunder Dragon, and I'm seeing 30 cards. I'm very surprised by a 30 card kind of deck. I mean, some 30 card decks, I guess the only one I get to see, the most often one, will be Harpy. No, but the looks of it, it's not maybe going to be a classic Thunder Dragon. It could... No, actually, it's going to be a classic Thunder Dragon, because if we talk about Thunder Dragon RDI, which is a deck that you can see that has been in the top 100 KC Cup, they do use Demon's Resonance, which is a skill with Jack Atlas, and that's a completely different thing. Alright, so Radar is gonna make the exact same setup as before. It doesn't seem to have another monster to be making the Rogue. So he's gonna go for Bonzer and setting cards. Yes, indeed, pretty much the same turn like in the previous duel. But maybe not with the same cards. Tenki. Ooh, Fire King 30 cards is back. Okay. Now that's interesting they went for Fire King here and 30 cards, which if it is 30 cards means there's a lot of hand traps. Because eventually that's going to push a lot of resources for the Onomat. And Onomat will have to pray that the opponent doesn't really have some hand traps at that point. Alright, setting 2 cards. Now we know that he drew a Barong with the effect of Tenki. But it doesn't seem he has the setup if he's setting the cards like that. He could try to set Barong, I guess. But otherwise he's gonna have to rely on if he has hand traps or not. Which we don't know, because you know that we're seeing cards face on. Okay, he's gonna try to attack at least with the Barong, try to force one of the cards. And that is going to be a Book of Moon Force. I'm actually very surprised by what I'm seeing. Using Onomatoplay, switching the ball to get the utopic. Makes sense, fair enough. I don't think that's a bad decision to actually ideally draw for cards. Alright, is he gonna go for the pushback? Yes, he's gonna go. One thing he could have done if he had a monster in hand is to make an Xyz and then summon another monster, but he's still having a good field. He doesn't really need to make any Xyz. So Rhino attacking with the code. The attack is going to pass, and the Bandit Buster Bill is going to be special summoned. Alright, does my turn want to reply though? Does he want to destroy a card from the opponent? He does have the MST indeed. Okay. And he is going to target the most recent card, which is going to be Book of Moon destroyed. Ooh, the Arvada is actually coming here. He goes and tries to attack again the coat. But does Red Eye have something against the Arvada? If there's any Book of Moon again or Canadia, he's gonna be fine. And hello to you, Dofi. Hope you're doing good. Welcome, welcome. And hello, Atal. Hope you're doing good. Welcome, welcome. So Red Eye decided to take the attack, actually. He doesn't want to use the card, which now makes me think it is not a Forbidden Lance, or that he's actually saving it for another usage. There's one backer on the side of my turn, so he could be saving the card, and I do think it's a good choice. Alright, so what is he going to do in that position? The problem is going to be the Arvada, but he actually can force with the effect of Utopic, but no. Utopic is going to be able to use its effect. The Arvada doesn't want to negate. But it could also be possible that my turn doesn't have a resource in hand, but you never know. Well, actually, yes. My bad. There's Malevolent Sin and Bouncer. There's a lot of replies for Red Eye. If the Arvada uses the effect, that would be pretty much GG. And Red Eye is going to be forced to attack anyways. He knows that he's going to trigger the Destiny Draw by just one attack. So he has to go for the biggest one, then the little ones, I guess. But he could go for the supposition that there's another Veil in hand. And he's going to go for the first attack with the coat. So that one is going to pass. Triggers the Destiny Draw, attacking with the Malevolent Sin at first. from the timing, I don't have the impression that there is a Kytroid, else it will have activated it very fast. It could be also possible that depending on the card he has said, if he's thinking to use it or not. Alright, Book of Moon on who? And he's gonna choose the Malevolent Scene here. So that one is gonna be flipped on. Red Eye going for the attack, and that's gonna be a Sphere Kuribo. My turn has no cards, only the Destiny Draw. He's in a difficult position here. Very difficult position, because you have to think that yes, it's good indeed to have the Arvada, because I can negate effects if I have a fire monster in hand. In general, it's going to be fire beast, beast wire, winged beast, I guess. But yeah, normally, yeah, you can destroy indeed any fire. So the ideal is that you want to get to Gornix. But now he's gonna go for a backer instead. He can actually attack the Malevolent Sin if he wants. That's one thing he can go for, but still difficult. Yeah, the Fire King has completely been at the mercy of the Onomat so far. Alright, fair enough. He's gonna destroy that Malevolent Sin, getting rid of one of the worst monsters to fight against. They draw the most fair card in the game. I mean, it's still fine. I still prefer seeing Destiny Draw instead of like a skill that basically tells you, hey, I can switch a card that I have for another one, and actually consistency is too good. Like, basically we had Switcher back then, but Switcher is like once per duel. And you have a life point restriction. And the kind of skills we have is similar to Switcher, but it's like specific for a deck. But there's like not really a big restriction, and that changes so much. Ah! Okay. Future Strapple coming in? Sheesh. Actually exists with the prediction. X's Dragon predicting the TTH, and I'm incapable of that. Look at that. I'm so bad at casting. I need to get to know that it will happen at TTH. But another card I've been thinking, like if it was searching for a back row, will be a Drowning, which I guess is another possibility. Alright, no, the Fiendish is still gonna be imposing because it basically blocks some effects. But that's not gonna last for long because Fire King Island destroying the Arvada, and because Arvada is destroyed, you can special summon a monster from the grave. And I do think that's gonna be lethal because he has 3 level 4s that will get on the field. You make a Malevolent Sin, and that is over. Yeah, exactly. The DTH was reversed, although I do think even a Drowning will have been fine. I do think even a Drowning will have been good. And hello, welcome Shadow. Welcome to the chat here. Here I am casting a Teamoise, which if you don't know is a league where players are fighting between each other, and that's a 5v5 format. Each player have 2 decks, and the teams have right to 2 repeats. So that means if you have a player that is losing on its first duel, he can switch, he can use the repeat and remains with the same deck. And hello, Saifuddin, has been a while, hope you're doing good. So, Red Eye's out. And my turn got the points, so that's gonna be 2-2 so far. Both teams being neck on neck actually. Alright, they're going to be sending the next player, who is going to be Grimjo. Alright, was waiting for the two of them to be ready, and we're just gonna spectate back again. Let's go. And it's gotta be a Yamayugi against Yamayugi. I'm really wondering what kind of deck they brought, but I do guess it's gonna be Gaia. Yeah. I see 22 cards, Gaia. Alright, first turn who went for my turn, who's just going to be sending one card only. No back row at all, or anti-back row to try to slow down the Gaia. The Gaia has a potential lethal situation here. Also doing the clashing combo where he gets the field spell thanks to the Dragon Knight's Path, the skill. The question is going to be if he has like follow-ups. Because all he needs is to get the champion, so the one that is going to do piercing damage, and then you get to do special summon of Dark Flare. That will be the ideal turn. Or else you have the Dragon Mirror. If you have Dragon Mirror, that's going to be enough for game. Actually, I don't think anybody has used Diffusion in Gaia, but that still is going to give an idea to people at some point. And I do think he's not having lethal. He's still going to be able to get a nice attack and attack boost. Alright, the Onslaught is going to be activated. That's going to allow him to special summon a Garnix. And sending another monster as well. Yeah, no, definitely. It makes a lot of sense to send Gaia against Fire King because, you know, when you're attacking, the opponent can activate effects. And Fire King uses a lot of hand traps. Grimja getting that Fiendish Chain, that was the most important thing he needed to get. Else, Forbid and Chalices also, you know? Because you basically negate the effect of Garnix, which is what you want. But now that it is the turn of Grimjo, he's going to be able to go for a lot of push. Because now there's going to be another fusion on the field. And I do think that's game. He just needs to get the champion, get the continuous spell to make piercing. And that is GG. And hello, GH Spark up here doing good. Annyeong. Annyeonghaseyo. So making the fusion. Gonna be the champion, of course. The effect triggers, gets the continuous spell, the spear strike, and as I mentioned, that's GG. Attack the face-off, and that's all. That's what I'd like to see. 5,000 damage. A clean 5 stat. And that's going to be 3-2 so far. So 3 points for SEM, 2 for Sensei. That's what I meant. So now my turn has to go for his second deck. Doesn't have a choice. And Grimjo also has to keep with the deck, of course. A classic. I'm gonna go back in the duel because I think they immediately went for the next duel. And that's an ornament behind the Fire King on the side of my turn. Now that is a very good part here, because you have to also think when making a pair of decks, it has to be making sense. Against Gaia, you usually want to send Onomat, because Onomat has like quite the replies against the Gaia decks. So Gaia is getting the first turn instead of the Onomat. Let's see how is this going to go. He's so far able to get to draw cards. I do think Grimjoy is in a good spot. Ooh, no, okay. Actually retrieves the Fierce Knight out of all the cards. No, he has to make the fusion. Yeah, he has to get the Knight of Dragons to be able to destroy a card from the opponent, depending on what he sets. Instant MSC is gonna happen. There's actually a lot of things that Grimjoy can go for, but let's see. So Sister normal summon, that's going to be a classic thanks to the onomatopoeia skill. The bolt is drawn. The question I have is if Grimjoy wants to use the effect against the sister. Yes, he wants. No, it's not about to do this because you're still going to slow down a lot my turn. And worst case scenario, I mean, you get to force one of the cards from your opponent, so it's fine. And the sister is going to remain destroyed. There's one thing though that is still possible. Instead of keeping the level 7, you can pretty much tribute it, but it depends on the hand of Grimjoy though. Let's see. Alright, searching for the Curse of Dragonfire here. That's a finicky turn in my opinion, because one thing that could have been done is that you tribute the fusion, get the Fierce Knight, and ideally tribute it to search for the Magical Knight, so you're able to go for players. But it does look that he wanted to do something completely different, and that's fine. It's so far being face-up attack with the 0 attack. Alright, trying to push an attack here. He's gonna get the Forbidden Chalice. That's gonna increase at least 3000 attack. And I do think he's gonna go for more. Like, he's gonna stop the turn right now. Yeah. That's the thing that makes the most sense. But Book of Moon is going to intervene immediately. Using onomatopoeia, going to be sending the topic 2 at the head. That's going to be a free head because then you get all the monsters from the grave. Although it's only a sister. But the point is, it is still fine because you don't really get to do more. Okay, no, wait a second. That was actually evil. Yeah, fair play. Using the bolt to destroy the field spell, that's going to slow down a lot Grimjoy. And also goes for the Bonzer. He's just gonna go full control. He knows he has more attack than the defense of the Magical Knight. Or shall I say the Knight of Dragons. So my turn is gonna be getting this big control, 3 back row, and a Bonzer. Yeah, that's exactly that, Shadow. That's gonna be a GG at that point. The moment where you have a Gaia that loses the field spell, Galloping Gaia, if you don't have a second one, I don't really know if you can come back. Because I do think having a second one is still very good. You just get to draw cards. If the opponent doesn't really have an interrupt against that, then you're good. And yeah, he's ending the turn. That's gonna be GG. And hello, J-Pop, hope you're doing good, man. I actually talked to you earlier about Chief, which is funny though. Actually, I gotta talk about that. Like, I know some people's account on Discord, you know, you can get hacked, but some people do think that it's only through like scamming links that your account gets hacked, but I know there's like way more ways that your account can get hacked. And in the most stupid ways. So right now that's gonna be 3-3. My turn remains on the table. But yeah, like, that was a fun thing to see the poor chief being hacked. But yeah, like, I think the systems we have now, like, to protect your own account on I don't know what website, you just need to be 2FA, then GG. Your account is safe. And the reason is just too dumb. The algorithm is like one of the simplest things of all time in the programming. It's like each 30 seconds you have like a code that gets switched, and there's no way someone in 30 seconds in real life gets to actually know the code. That's the thing. And it's especially, you have to think that it's guessing the code. I mean, I guess maybe you can try getting the code somehow, but like in 30 seconds it's like the manipulation takes a long time. Hopefully no one actually finds a way to stop that. And I'm actually about to see TDR Day. I'm sure of it. I'm seeing 30 cards that can only be that. And that's gonna be sick. Really didn't expect to see Thunder Dragons RDA, but I do think it's gonna be making more sense. We're gonna be seeing a lot of them. So the first one is gonna go for Grimjaw. Alright, classic play, switching Red Resonator for the Wandering, just viable, and make sure to get a Synchro. And he is going to have a Red Resonator on the hand as well, so he had 2. Rhino in the making of the Red Rising Dragon. Red Resonator being special summon, you gain life points from the monster with the attack that you choose. And that is going to be it though. I do think that's going to be difficult by how the hand of Grimjaw looks like. The skill is still going to be pretty good because you have to think that you can actually switch a Fiend monster, ideally a Fiend tutor monster, for another monster. Yeah, if there's Bonzer plus Rogue one time, GG well played. And even worse if you see my turn with like so many background. That's another thing that can be like very imposing. Alright, my turn going to be using Onomata Play, switch the glove for a sister, classic. There's almost a question where you want to know if who doesn't like draw for sister, you know. Ah. Okay, I have not expected this play at all. Going for the Utopic to special summon everybody. And I think he's really trying to go for lethal or like as much damage as possible. So by making a rank 6, of course you're gonna go for the M7. I don't know what he's going to do, but I guess he's gonna send back the level 6. Else is gonna retrieve his monster, but because he detached the utopic, it's not gonna be the case. What he wanted is to be able to use the code to retrieve the utopic and use it. And there's the Rogue. Hello, Rogue. Meanwhile, in Suiture vs SEL, King Hallow is 4-0 with RDITBs. Sheesh. Ooh, that's a nice creeper though. That's still gonna be allowing Grimjaw to gain some time and maybe try to destroy as fast as possible the Rogue. Otherwise, he can make other kind of summons. Nixie's summons, which Rogue cannot stop. But yeah, for like... Actually, I'm wondering though, Exis Dragon, do you know like the build that Hallow is using? The build that King Hallow is using? Because it can depend, you know, like if you want to get a lot of cards or not. Alright, Grims are retrieving 2 monsters, so 2 Thunder Dragon. Using the skill. And hello, Augustin. So, Red Eye, yeah. He was playing as the first player from SEM and he already lost. So you have Grimjaw that is currently playing. And I'm sure you're gonna ask what decks he played. So Red Eye played Thunder Dragons with Destiny Draw and Onomat. Those were his decks. Alright, so he indeed had the Crimson Resonator, which is still fine. He gets the special summon. Still gonna be very difficult because any interrupt is gonna have to try to summon a monster again. Okay, no, that's getting interesting. He did search for Luna the Dark Spirit instead of the Wandering immediately. And no using the Thunder Dragon he had in hand. Fair enough. Yeah, exactly. He's not gonna go for anything. He's just gonna try to attack, destroy the Rogue. The destruction went in. My turn saving the cards, and he is also having an M7, so he's fine for that. Plus, he can also go for the effect of M7, go for head then, and push a lot for lethal at that point. So let's see what my turn is going to do, but one thing for sure that might happen is he forces with M7, you search for head, and then you go for combos with head where you're trying to get as much special summons as possible. Otherwise, he maybe does one M7, but he's going to retrieve a monster from his side. And because his overlay is a sister, he maybe decides to retrieve sister, which is another possibility. As long as he's sure that he gets lethal. But yeah, fair enough, he's not gonna go for that. So Onomat to play, switching the card, searching Gagaga head then. No, searching for a code, taking the time. Doesn't need to rush things. Fair enough. And he's still gonna make an Xyz again. Going for Excalibur. Trying to do as much damage as possible. And you have also to think that RDITD doesn't really have a lot of hand traps. Oh my god, it's not even going to be lethal. 200 life points left. No, it's not actually going to be no way. No! No! Ah, yeah. That's gonna be a wasted card. Ah, that hurts. I was thinking he's going for Forbidden Chalice, but I wasn't sure he's gonna negate the effect, and indeed it negates. The 4,000 attack you had were lost. The attack gain is actually an effect, so if you negate it, that's just going to be 2,400. Grimjaw is going to be able to go for a lot of replies, especially because you have wasted the Forbidden Chalice. There's a possibility that Grimjaw does a comeback. Another special summon, which is going to be the Luna, which has been sent by the M7. Man, that was something though. That's a misplay I haven't seen at all. It's gonna be a crack. Else it's maybe something that he didn't know, and you know, I guess he has to learn from that. Now he still has the Book of Moon. I guess he's gonna touch the Tuna, which will make more sense. No, he goes for the level 4. Yeah, it makes a lot of sense actually. He just needs to make one attack, will be fine. Unless Grimjaw has something special summon again. One thing we almost forget is that if he has Wandering, he'll be fine. Else is gonna be all up on hand traps. And there's Utopic to Force. That's still gonna be GG. Jesus. Alright, so the Onomate is actually still going to take the point, and that's gonna be 4-3. That actually was something I really didn't expect from the misplays for sure. Alright, so no Grimjaw is out. We're gonna have to wait for the next player on the side of SEM. Hello, so hope you're doing good, man. Has been a while. Lol, I know how you've been. How's school? Well, college is pretty fine. I mean, it's a new year, you get to learn new stuff and all. But I still enjoy a lot the college, at least the university where I am. It's a lot of fun, you get to learn a lot of stuff, out between comrades and all. So I'm having a good time. Hope you're doing good as well, man. And next player is going to be Zenzo. And let's see what deck they decided to send against the Onomate. Alright, so that's a Yami Yugi on top. What if it's another TDRDA though? Else it's maybe possible to see a classic TD, which will make sense because we're seeing Zenzo on top. I think it's gonna be a classic TD this time. Amazing to hear, yeah, doing great. I'm top 100, 500 in KC, well congrats man. I actually wanted to try to go top 100 this KC, but I ended up being below top 1000. But that's because I've been losing points stupidly and I really didn't think through strategy. Like, first day went well, but then I lost points for no reason and then I didn't think through. I said I'm gonna keep trying it and I just got karma. And I think the solution was like playing a deck like Thunder Dragons, which will have went better. But I did learn stuff from this KC Cup still. I don't think I had like an enjoyment compared to the KC from June. The difference was big though. But yeah, it's still a KC, you can get some fun sometimes. It's a KC Cup anyway. But I hope to achieve back a good position because I know I can do way better. Oh, so when you are qualified, do you know how long it takes to continue in the KC? I don't know. I don't know what you mean by qualified actually. Oh, okay, that's a play I don't see often. Thunder Dragon discarded, which is fair enough. You get a monster in the grave, but uses Hawk to get a Thunder Dragon on the field, which I guess means he wants to Tribute Summon. This card's the Legionnaire going to be drawing 2 other. Yes, indeed, he's gonna tribute it with the other Thunder Dragon he had in hand. And now if he goes for the Legionnaire, does he want to use the effect? If he wants lethal, he's Shoulden, but he's actually going to go for it. Okay. Okay, so like it is it next month or how it takes for all qualifiers to proceed to semi-finals for the title? For KC Cup, it's really different. Like, I mean, there's not really the notion for semis and finals. Like, KC Cup is just if you qualify in for the second phase, you qualify in, and then you try to get points. And if you're top 100 and all, it's just a position. But there's nothing much. Like, I guess maybe you're talking about the KCGT, which is where you find the semis and the finals, which I guess it takes an hour, 2 hours. I mean, it depends on how long the matches takes. But yeah. That's a weird question you're asking me, I'm not gonna lie. Book of Moon, which is going to ending up being used on the Legionnaire as well. Fair enough. It's okay, yeah. Sorry, I tried my best to answer to your question, but yeah. No, just have the idea that playing a KC Cup, you just want to get 2 top 500 or something, but it doesn't mean that you get to qualify like in tournaments and all. It's just, I get a position, I get some rewards, and if I'm first, I'm actually qualified for the YCS or WCS. But only that. You'll enjoy the stream though. Yeah, fair enough, so you're welcome. So my turn had no monster, but with the hand that Sensei had, he had it difficult trying to force the Levionnaire's effect of as well, so... At least with the Legionnaire he got to destroy some monsters, but there's one thing. It's gonna be a Rook. Or a Malevolent Saint because he's gonna go for a Core Bash. He can go for the Core Bash that sends back the Legionnaire in the deck. And yes indeed, he's going for that. Yeah, WCS, they invited me to participate. Oh, okay, now that's way different. If you're talking about that invitation, it does not mean that you're qualified for WCS at all. That only means that if you are about to play in the KC Cup again, you go immediately in second phase, but only that. That just means you go instantly to the next second phase. Well, not immediately, but like when the second phase begins, you don't need to be like DLV max. You can already begin the second phase. So like, if you're a player, let's say, who didn't even do King of Games, I don't know, you're like silver, and you actually reached like top 500 in your region, or even I'd say top 100 or something like that, you just go for second phase immediately. But that's all. That's all it means. Alright, my turn, getting no usage of the Onomata play because he has on the topic. He can retrieve the glove that is in the grave, make an Xyz, and this time, the Rook. Yeah, exactly, Clash Bro. The first position is all you're going to get. If you want to be qualified in top UCS, get first, or that's not going to happen. There has been an alternative though, and that's where things are different, where if you play the KC Cup in June, what's going to happen is, if you get top 100, you can qualify for the qualifiers pretty much. Like you can play on the event where people will fight to be in the top 16 for like the WCS in August. That's one thing they've done because of COVID though. I do think it's still gonna change. Let me also just check, because I do not know if there's going to be a repeat. So I'm just checking it out, and I'm not seeing any repeats so far, so yeah, fair enough. Yeah, top 3 per region is exactly, well, that's for like the normal WCS, exactly, Dragon. So if you get top 3 in your region, on the case of June, you actually qualify for the WCS. So I think like most of the time people focus a lot on June. On the other months, they don't really care much. But yeah, like if you want to get into WCS, it's very hard. And that's all due to that crazy system where like you have to get an insane mentality, pretty much be ready of what to do. And I'm seeing 28 cards again, so I've been pinged, that's indeed a repeat. Let me just declare the repeat on the side of SEM. See the repeat, getting the first one right now, Sarcophagus banishing the roar, that's going to special summon Edge off, attributing the dog, which is going to allow you to search for a card, and get the hook. Shake my head, I'll just get first play next time, are you kidding me, man? You have to go very fast, so it's not even easy, and if you want to get first place, you have to also think like what decks people play, what you will find in general. And the one who knows the most the meta is going to be the one that reaches very far. I do think that's what you need to think about. Like, it's not, okay, dude, you know, I'm Broski, I'm gonna go with Blue Eyes, dude, I'm gonna be first because it's Blue Eyes. Let's go, I got first place. That's not gonna work. You can indeed reach very far with Blue Eyes, I think that's definitely possible, but it can depend on the build, depend on the plays you do, but most of the time you need like not only Blue Eyes but all the decks behind. Like one deck is not really enough, you want all the decks, or else you take the same archetype but you make different builds. There's a lot of strategy involved in the end in KC, and I think that's what makes it interesting, so always be prepared for that. Yeah, you switch decks back and forth, yeah. That's also fine then. I personally stay with only one deck on like the first day. If things doesn't go well, then I actually switch there, but I usually do one deck list per day. That's what I try to do. But that's personal, of course. You barely used Blue Eyes for this past months. Yeah, I can understand that. Alright, so yet again another new topic from my turn where he's gonna get all the monsters on the field. And you know the deal, he's gonna try to get, I guess he's gonna go for M7 here. But of course he's gonna try to get the rogue. Else, another thing he can go, because there's a face down, it's gonna be the setup for Corbash. And that Corbash is gonna hurt. Especially if Sensei has like no hand trap. M7 bouncing back the roar could retrieve the topic. Classic. Yeah, exactly, the core badge, yo. Man. Every time I'm saying like words with the Joe, I'm always like, you know, thinking that I'm missing, who was it? Guns Blazing. Like, Guns Blazing is one of my favorite people in the whole Duel Links community, and I'm so mad that he's not really playing anymore, but I'm still happy by the fact that he's doing his own projects. But to be fair, Guns Blazing, I'm missing the guy. It's pretty much one of the greatest dudes of all time. At least in the Duel Links community. First attack done, and the second one is actually going to be stopped. The Sphere Karibo coming in. And the bonus of Corbacho, when you change the position of a monster on the field, on the enemy side or even yours, you get retrieve back, and you get an overlay. But yeah, really hoping to see Guns Blazing one day to come back. At least just for fun, you know, like, I don't think he's ever going to be back on competitive and stuff, but I'm still gonna have faith that he's gonna come back, or at least even do any kind of Yu-Gi-Oh content. We're fine with that. Fucking magic. I mean, it is what it is. Zaznas is gonna be imposing right now with this Levineer that is about to come up. Destiny Joe being triggered, so you get to see the melody. Alright, no, he has banished everyone. Is not going to use the effect of all. Uses the effect of the Dragon Dock. Doesn't want to use any other one. He's going to go for Roar. And I think right now he's not going to use Hope. If he uses Hope, he cannot special summon. So what he's going to do is retrieve a Hulk from the deck, use Hope, special summon Roar, and then he's going to be very imposing because he now is able to destroy the back row. And that's the thing. He won't prioritize the monsters, goes for the back row. And yeah, no chain, that's a rip. That is true. Alright, so I do think he's going to be making an excuse. I don't know which one, but if he goes for the Bonzer, it's going to be insane imposing. Also depends on the fact if Sensei has like anything to special summon back. And I don't think he has done a normal summon, so if he goes for that, he's in a very nice spot. Alright, going for an Xyz right now, which is going to be M7 actually. Interesting. Gets back a Sphere Karibo. That is not what I thought I'm going to see. Because if I check the grave, I don't think he has the head yet. So my turn, if he wants, can go for the head. Yeah, he had the Gagaga Bolt, switches back immediately. And I think he has no choice, he has to try for the head. He grabbed Curry to not die to Excalibur. I still think it's a funny choice though, because I don't really think there would be a way for Excalibur. I mean, I guess I can see, yeah, why. I guess you're right. Also, right now going to use the Gaga Ball just to get the benefits. And now he's going to be declaring a type on the side of Sword Breaker. Which type does he want to declare though? And he's going to declare Machine to be able to destroy the M7. But of course, for Kirby being in hand, that's going to be allowing Zenzo to go for more tempo. But not only that, you have Zenzo that gets the reply, bounces back the Sword Breaker. Or not. Not bouncing back, which means it really means that Zenzo doesn't have like a hand, let's say, ideal for lethal. So he's gonna go actually secure Levianeer, which is going to destroy the two monsters in the field, because he banishes the Hope, the Roar, and again the Sphere Kuriboh. And all he needs is to be normal summoning anything, then he's gonna get lethal this turn. Ends up deciding to use the effect of Roar as well. Special summoning a vanilla dragon, okay. And now he's gonna banish the Dragon Dart. The Dragon Dart is gonna allow him to draw for, I guess, a level 5 or 6. Yes, indeed, goes for the Roar. Tributing the vanilla monster, and that is going to be easy. Or even the Lumineer. He pretty much has what he needs. Some great plays. I couldn't even read this duel at that point. Unique plays and very good plays from Zenzo, who is going to be taking that point. So 5-4. That was brilliant, honestly. Alright, so now my turn is gonna have to be out and it's time for another player to come in. Gaga's about to be dead, can't wait. Honestly, man, they just need to have the skill nerfed and not the monsters. Yeah, any card for Monomat doesn't deserve to be here, it's just a skill. But the problem is, I do think Konami is gonna tell you that the skill is going to remain as it is. They pretty much have that for Demon's Resonance. They have that for the Dragon Knight's Path. And I have an impression that we're just going for like too much consistency at that point where like people just, they know that it gets tedious. Because you try to play a deck that wasn't using such skills for consistency. And it was all about, okay, it's RNG, but I'm still going to be like more skill based because I'm trying to get, let's say, good hands and trying to play around, you know. But it really changed out the day they pretty much released such kind of skill. Nano is going to be the next player on the side of Sensei, and let's see what they sent against the Thunder Dragon. Yet again another Yami Yugi, but it could actually be a Gaia. And if it's Gaia, it makes sense.
Duel!
24 cards on the bottom on the side of Nano. That is indeed going to be a Gaia, but a lot of cards actually. No, by the fact that I'm seeing 24 cards, I'm actually going to guess that there's 2 Galloping Gaia on his deck. That's at least what I suppose, because in a 24 cards, I guess it makes sense to have more copies of the field spell. That will also give a possibility for Nano to, I shall say, come back by getting a field spell on the field, and it gives him the possibility to draw for cards. Alright, let's see. Classic play for the Magical Knight. Alright, instant Dragon Dog. Fair enough. And welcome back my turn. GG's for the streak. You're the god though, I'm not even playing. What do you mean? Yeah, you did some. Happens. Players always have to learn some stuff, you know. We're not perfect, but it's fine. Little bit shame. It happens. Don't worry much. It really happens. Like, there's no way you have a perfect duelist. And I'm, at the end of the day, by watching so many players, there's no one that I consider like god player. Absolutely no one. There's indeed like very good players with like specific decks or like a lot of decks, but there's not like a god player. And Yu-Gi-Oh doesn't exist. Ah, salut Ray Exil. Comment ça va? Ah, ça fait un bail, hein. Alright, so they're literally by making the classic banishing with the Dragon Dark and the Roar. So, especially summoning a Hulk and searching for the Hulk. My thing is maybe gonna go for Bonzer. At that point, Nano is gonna have to be forced. Bah écoute, moi j'ai bien, comme tu vois, toujours Duel Links, et surtout que j'ai les études, donc je fais que ça pour le moment. Mais dès que j'ai le temps, je fais du speedrun, des entraînements. Et puis on s'amuse. On s'amuse, on s'amuse. Alright, so far it's not a bad field for Zenzo, but will he be doing what I think though? Because if he's doing the Bonzer, he's still going to be able to block the effect from the Gaia champion. The only problem is, if Nano has a Fierce 9, things will change. And Nano is gonna chain immediately the effect Destroy the Roar. And there's no way for Zenzo to go for any Xyz. That's gonna be an end turn. Good destruction. I say he indeed went for the Feast Knight. Fair enough. No, after using Fierce Knight, he is gonna go for the draw. That's gonna allow him to get back a Magical Knight. And he hasn't used the Field Spell, gonna go use that effect to retrieve a monster. Gonna be, I do think if he has it, is gonna be the Dark Flare Dragon. He does have a curse on the grave, but no, he's adding a curse instead. Fair enough. Alright, making again another champion here. Sorry, Knight of Dragons. Now he's gonna take time getting things for destruction and also doesn't get to the piercing because he didn't go for that. He could have gone for piercing, but only if he had the Dark Flare. That way would be pretty much lethal, but from the looks of it, I do think it's a more control-ish version. So instead of Dark Flare, I guess he's playing the Origin, which changes a little bit the Gaia way of being played for the deck to be played. So 4 cards on the side of Zenzo. If I check the graveyard, he does have the elements. He do be having the cards to destroy the field from his opponent. He's thinking through it. Alright, he's still thinking, I guess. I'm gonna be waiting and waiting for some seconds, but otherwise I can guess he's thinking a lot. The play really depends on the hand you have. The more you think, the more you guess it's maybe a bug, because this was something that happened with Konami, which I still don't know if it is fixed. But he's gonna do something first. 100 Thunders. Tributes the monster and is going to use the effect of Hope. So he's going to be sending back cards to the deck, sends all the cards. Yeah, I also hated that logic. Like most of the time when I was streaming, I was like, okay, is he thinking? Is he not thinking? What was that? And I had times where actually the duel ended and I was like, this is stupid. What was the point? But it is what it is. No, that Millage actually ends up being pretty nice. The Melody is cunning and aloof, and it's still going to allow him to get the Levineer, which is what he needed, but I don't think he has light, does he? Yeah, he doesn't have it actually. Ooh. That changes what I was thinking, because if there's any fusion, that's GG. GG. What can I say? Dragon Mirror is gonna come by in the end, making another fusion. And yet again, no cards can be used on the side of Zenzo because you have the field spot. Alright, so another point for Sensei, that's going to be 6-4. No, you still have to know that the difference between the two teams in terms of points, it's still minor. Actually, wait. Okay, no, that's so the score, so that is what I need to switch. And first one. I was actually thinking I had a mistake, but no, it's all good. So, Zenza has to go out, and we have to wait for the next player. There are 2 players remaining on the side of SEM, and the third one from Sensei is still alive with his Gaia. Alright, I'm still waiting for the next play on the side of Paul. I guess it. Actually, yes, I can't do it. Alright, let me just first spectate. First of all, big thanks again to the team was. I was thinking I'm gonna expect a raid. I was thinking about it. I can't believe I called it. But yeah, again, thank you so much. Hope you guys are doing good and hope you enjoyed the war that you watched. This is Sensei against SEM, and Sensei has 6 points, SEM has 4, and this is the new play on the side of SEM, so let me just change the name, that's gonna be JW. Alright, so this time around he's gonna be playing Onomat, and he gets the first turn, which is pretty good. For Onomat, I do think it is a very good thing, and X-Critics, thank you very much for the follow, I appreciate it. Let me just do one thing, I think is that right? No, it's not that. Is it, I'm just making another group. Again, thank you very much for the follow, Hudson. Hope you enjoyed the war going on so far. Alright, so far I'm seeing a classic setup. Bonds are in only one set though, so it's not going to be enough defense, but it still can manage to do stuff. Also at the beginning so far with the Gateway to Chaos, which is going to allow him to draw for the Magical Knight. And I do think he's going to change the effect. Else, if you have the Galloping immediately, it's going to be fun for you. Goes for a very fast Forbidden Chalice, okay. Yeah, fair enough. Alright, so using now the Dragon Knight's Path, you're going to return 1 card from your hand. And now you're gonna get the Galloping Gaia. No, he may be able to use effects and all, but he has to make sure as well that he can do the fusion. There's one set card. Getting Origin in the end. Interesting. Alright, so normal summoning again with the Magical Knight, but no, he has a... I actually don't know why he has level 4 in defense then. Most of the time, what you want to do is like you use Origin, you tribute it, and the main goal is that you want to be able to change the attack of a monster that is on the field, like you basically switching his attack. For example, if you're, let's say, playing the Knight of Dragons, you can have it on the field. Oh, actually, no, he makes it with the... That's actually fair enough. There's going to be a lot of pushing though, because he can go destroy the back row if he wants and then make an excuse, but he's gonna get the Dragon Mirrors as well. 3 level 7 on the field. Oh my god. I do guess I was gonna go for champion at that point. Yes, indeed, goes for the champion, gets the spear. I do have the impression that if the card that is set on the side of JW is a Forbidden Lance, I do understand why he doesn't activate anything, and in that case, that's almost GG. Goes for the Book of Moon on the champion. That's a fair choice in my opinion. But yeah. The Bonzer is going to be alive anyway. So that Book of Moon is very nice. Now JW is going to have some replies though. He's going to be able to reply against his opponent. He has a free field here. But he also has to clean the board, and that is another kind of task. Alright, so switching the Dodo draw to retrieve a Gagaga head. Normal summoning it, of course, to make an excuse. How many wins did my turn 1 with his first deck? Hopefully I can remember. I think he won only one game though. He only won one game. He was with Fire Kings, he wins with Fire Kings, and then he loses the next duel because in front he had to fight against Gaia. The 3 other wins were done with Onomats. No problem for us. Also making an M7, also getting the draw from the head, is going to bounce back the face down, and that is a comeback. That's GG. That actually was a very terrifying field what Nanano was actually doing. There's that thing I gotta say. That was actually a terrifying field, and that was very well played from JW. Getting that W. Liking his nickname. So, okay, it's not like that. It's just like that. One deck left for Nano, who has to switch from the Gaia. And he has to fight against Onomat. And we know what Onomat is. Onomat being Onomats. What else? JW not playing Rhino build. Keep interesting. I haven't watched a lot of wars recently, but I guess yes. And hello Marty, hope you're doing good. But yeah, like, I think the Rhinoceros build is... It's not something you want to bring it often unless it's like for a certain counter. I guess versus Lunalight it's one thing. Right, already in for the next duel. Let me just hop in. Alright, so first and again for JW. I'm getting that dot of the draw, and I do think yes. He sent me Go Glove. So now what he is gonna want to again is getting that sister, and he is finding an automat, so that's gonna be mirror match. He needs to get an imposing field to be able to sort of stop Nano. And that's no easy task, but it is definitely possible. Alright, so there's a nice setup being done so far. We'll get to see Bonzer again. That's a pretty nice field in the end. He got 2 face downs, a Bonzer, and the glove just in case. You know, having gloves to protect yourself, maybe from punches. And that's gonna be a mirror play so far, getting a draw done, but it's not discarding the same card, he discards the Utopic. Instant Book of Moon on that Bouncer, unless he has a reply. None. So the Book of Moon passes through. The sister is going to be summoned. So the Bolt is retrieved. He can reply right now and say use the Canadian Book of Moon on the sister. That's a Book of Moon that tried to flick down the sister, but the Forbidden Lance is going to protect the sister. And that's going to allow Nano to yet again play. And yes, indeed. So he's going to have the Onomat to play skill. Switches the monster to get the code, and the goal here, of course, is to be able to special summon the code. And also get to special summon the topic if you want. I do think he's still gonna go for it to at least get another monster on the field. We'll see. But first he's gonna go for the bot. Destroys the face down. Ooh, I don't think there's any chain non that is actually going to be lethal. This is going to be lethal because there's no card that has been used yet on the side of the opponent, but I'm actually going fast. Void Trample is another thing we get to see. And if that's the card that is face on, that would be nice, but it's not going to be a Void Trample. That's going to be lethal instead. GG. Nano's Onomat is going to remain on the field. And that is going to be 7-5. So now JW has to switch to the next deck. Alright, let me just hop in again on the duel. And let's see what deck he has.
Duel!
Alright, so first one though is actually gonna go for Nano. And I do think JW has a second automat from the looks of it. Unless it is an Evil Eye and the guy just likes Evil Eyes. That's still possible because, you know, it exists. And I'm not even kidding, like, you can take... Well, I mean, I like to call it Dual Meshi as a skill, which is the one you gain life points. I do believe he has level tuning, talking about Yuma, but I'm not sure. I do believe he has level tuning, which will be the version you get to see for Evil Eye, but let's be honest, that's the second automat. So, Nano so far getting to do the setup again for rank 6, which is going to be Bonzer. I think there's no choice, no discussions, you know the deal. Man, sometimes I'm confusing myself while speaking because I want to say deal or a drill, and I don't even know what to say anymore. Jesus. Alright, so the Bonzer on the field, and now the set cards. Call me 1, 2 set cards, maybe keeping the last one in hand because he has a usage for that. Alright, so setting a card instead of summoning immediately, he's gonna go for the sister, but does the Bonzer replying so far? And he has nothing. He's still gonna force the Bonzer though. Instant Book of Moon again as well. Well, not again, but this time. At least sending another card, but he is going to be very back row-ish and he doesn't seem to have the good ones. Maybe Trap. Maybe you lose back rows or traps instead of spells, which is going to change a lot, especially in this kind of matchup. Alright, so after the onomatopoeia play, he gets to draw and gets the code, which is going to be very good for him. Because he can retrieve the topic. And that's going to be more monsters to be summoned, but no Book of Moon. Which becomes very interesting now that he didn't want to use the Book of Moon on the Bouncer. I have no idea why he didn't use it on the Bouncer, if it is at least. I don't know, trying to draw, you know? But also could be misclicks as well on the side of JW, which is possible, but... has another Book of Moon again. A completely different kind of playstyle. I wonder what he's gonna try to do. He's trying to defend the sister, has 3 cards right now. It is gonna be fine, he can still special summon a lot. Gets the code on the field. So far, both of the monsters being ranked 6 is about to do something. Which is, of course, doing an Xyz, and that's going to be the Insector Exhibitor. So trying to go for the Rhino's Boss setup. Else he could use actually the effect of the... he could use the effect of Insector instead if he wants. But no. He's gonna go for that Rhino's Boss. Alright, this is a big surprise what I just got to see Onomata play, switching and now getting the Mancer. So we're about to get to see a Samurai. Now if he's doing this play, he must have a Forbidden Lance. That will be the most ideal card to have if he's planning to go for lethal. But let's see what's gonna happen though. I actually don't remember, but I do think Rhino's Boss does piercing damage as well. Doesn't he? Yes, indeed, there's going to be some piercing at some point. The monster gets destroyed, gonna be a turn again for him to attack, but the Book of Moon is gonna intervene. So that's gonna slow him down, but he still has a back throw which could be very disrupting for Nano, but we don't know. There's still a potential way for him to come back. And going for the effect again of the Gagaga Samurai, gonna get that utopic and also gets to be able to fleet of the Rhino's Boss. And that is going to be GG. That's very interesting. They are very neck and neck, by the way. Even if there's a 2-point, 1-point difference, they always are like in that kind of range. So, second victory from JW, and Nano is gonna be out this time. So now we're gonna have to wait for the next layer. More raid. Obrigado. Obrigado, Daigo. Hope you're doing good and hope everyone is doing good as well. So far, this is Sensei against SEM. And thank you very much for the follow, Mellows. Hope you enjoyed the war that is going on so far. So, Sensei has 7 points, but SEM is pretty much getting back in this war. They may be able to change the whole war because this pair from JW, so He used Onomat before. He's with his second Onomat, so things could change. And now that's going to be the turn of Snow One to be in. King Hollow clapped 10-1 over Ezreal. I heard that, I saw that. Actually, with what deck actually, Gaiba? That's crazy. With what deck did he do it? Let me just switch Snowman for the name, getting the decks. Now let's go. Yeah. King Hollow is crazy. He's really crazy. Like, I know someone came in the chat, he told me that he was playing Thunder Dragons with RDA. But I don't know what other decks he played. Or like, what was his second deck in that case. But I'll have to wait, I guess, and see the report. That's crazy though. That's gonna make a lot of people think again about the TDRDA. For sure. That's a very different film on the two sides, but there's still going to be Canada forcing one of the cards though. Forbidden Lance, and if there's anything that replies again, that's gonna be potentially face down Sister. But no, so the Forbidden Lance is gonna go through. Okay, TDRDA with Gaia. That's a solid pair as well. Interesting. So what's gonna happen here though? Snowman is having free plays because we know it has been protected due to the Forbidden Lance. Has the Gagaga Bolt that has been drawn. And decides to destroy the glove. So he's going for lethal at that point. Is he? I don't know. And hello Jovampira. Hope you're doing good. Or is it like Jovampira? I actually don't know. I mean, I guess you can read it in Spanish, or is it like in Brazilian? I don't know, but let me know. Nah, he's gonna go chill, he's gonna go for the Bouncer. But no other cards on the side of Snowman, which means he has two monsters. Now, JW may have a chance for lethal, it depends. It's not guaranteed, but it can be possible. The code is here. Yeah, it's Portuguese. Okay. And the Bolt is gonna be here. Destroying that Bouncer. Alright. Special summoning the Utopic. Making an Xyz, and that's gonna be Excalibur. That's the one that makes sense. Double the attack. 4,000. Lethal. And they're so far coming back. When I say it, I say it. That's going to be 7-7. This is getting very important now because I guess Sensei Cole trying to go for the repeated. They want to keep the Onomat, which Onomat you usually want to keep a lot of times. But let's see what decision they're going to be making. I'm going to try to watch the screen and the Discord because that's a pretty important situation. No, they're immediately going for the next deck. They just tried to try. Well, I'm gonna have some break because I have another match in 2 hours. Yeah, I'm gonna have the same Kaiba. It's gonna be even more funny because like I have a war to comment. After this war, I'm gonna have to actually try to help my clan while casting, I guess. This is gonna be weird as hell. But I'll see how I'm gonna manage all that. Have a good break, my man. And again, some more shoutouts to you because you're a good brother. Have a good break, man. So, first turn going for JW again. So getting that first turn, getting the classic setup with the sister, you know the deal. Ooh, okay, immediately going for the Rhino's Bus instead of the Bonzer, and I do like this selection. It's gonna make a lot of sense. Because that means only the Book of Moon is going to be the card you don't want to receive, but that also means if he doesn't have the Book of Moon, he will eventually be able to destroy the first sister that comes on the field, and Snowman will have to rely on the spell traps. And if there's a Forbidden Lands behind, JW is in a good spot, but no. Could be fine though, let's see. The sister is so far doing her thing, she's gonna be searching for a card. Here's the cute Gaga sister, we know her. Which one day she's gonna be banned. But let's see. So still thinking about the draw. He finally draws, will get the wins, and that is to try to prevent a potential Canadian. Fair play, fair choice here. But that also means he has to make sure of what he's doing. Let's see, he is having a head. That is actually getting pretty evil. Sister using the effect. Alright, Canada putting phase on the head. No card that gets to reply. And the Rhino's Bus is still alive. No, Snowman, if he doesn't have the coat, is not gonna have it easy. And he actually is still fine because he didn't use the Onomat. I mean, he didn't use the skill, so if he does that, switch a card for another one, get the code, and you're pretty fine. But I guess it's gonna take the time setting a card so far, and that's an end of turn. Also, Norman's running the code. The bolt is going to intervene, not forcing the back row yet. And that actually is going to be there's no response actually from the spell. And that's going to be lethal for JW. So far a comeback and also a switch. The lead point is on the side of SEM. So Snowman is going to have to be out. And that's another point for JW. Yep. Everything was due to Onomat. It also, if I can speak, it also shows you how imposing Onomat is. It's just, for many months, if people have been tired of the game, and this is going to be, I think, a time where she'll stuck, it shows how dumb the game is. Having a deck such as Onomat, which pretty much defines the meta too much, I think that's a no. Like, indeed you have other decks that will be able to respond against the Onomat, and for sure I'm happy to have that, you know, like having decks that gets to be able to play against Onomat. Luckily we have that. We're not in a situation where Blue Eyes, where Dark Lords were dominating just for a stupid reason. But Automat is still this deck that tells you I'm too consistent, what can you do, man? I'm freestyling. That's what I'm doing. I'm capable of always making plays and boom, I get set up and you do nothing. It's just really tedious at that point, so I can understand like a wave of players that got tired of the game. But thankfully, first of all, we have the pendulums coming. So banlist is about to come up. A lot of decks will change. The banlist is going to make stuff good, I hope. But I'm really hoping that this idea for like consistency skills just gets destroyed. Make like fair skills? I don't know, like balance was fair? Or maybe make a different kind of balance? Switcher, for example? You know, that's the funny thing. Switcher, which is once per duel. And you have like Onomatoplay, which is twice per duel. I don't know. But anyways, Ash is going to be playing Cyber Dragon on the bottom. Banlist will be good Copium. 100%. I have faith in the banlist. And JW is gonna go for the play. I think that was Nano doing it in the past. So he's gonna go for the topic. Special summoning the sister and maybe special summoning the coat. Or any level 4 he has in hand. Onomatoplay Cyber Style must be stopped. I think the skill for Cyber Style, let's be honest, it's not gonna be touched. Has been hated so much, but the deck in itself is gonna be touched. You're gonna see cards from Cyber Dragon touch 100%, but the skill no. It's a classic setup. He has special summon the coat. He's gonna have a lot of setup done, and he's going for it. What a crazy lad! The Rhinoceros again. Also gets to get the coat. Special summoning the Utopic, and I do think he's gonna go for an Exceed. I don't know which one, but let's see. That's gonna be a Malevolent Sin, fair enough. Which I do think he should have stayed in defense, doesn't he? Like, I don't know what's the point for the Malevolent Sin, but he's very sure about that, so let's see. Watch them put CS to 1k or less life points. If they don't want to... Okay, so if they don't want to touch the cards, that's indeed the nerf they are going to do for Cyberstar. Like, clearly. If they don't touch the cards, and if they think that for the deck what it does is fine, the skill will be touched. Otherwise, the skill remains untouched, remains the same, and the difference is that you're going to touch a lot of cards for the archetype. You just take Christian, for example, which had like no skill touched. The level skills were touched like way later after the Christians being semi-limited, having the impact, having Ryan, having Scythe being semi-limited and all. They hit the skills later, but they touched the cards earlier, which is funny, you know. Very, very funny. But it is what it is. We'll have to see what they do, but I'm really betting on the fact that they're not going to be touching a deck that stupidly, and what they're going to do is touch the skill for Onomat. I still think it's not going to be the case for Cyber Dragon. So there's a lot of thought on the side of Ash, which makes you think, and makes me think that this... Ooh, no. He was calculating for lethal. He's going to begin with the Herald of the Abyss. Dark Insect? Only? Insanely confident to do that, sheesh. Okay. I was not expecting this at all. But yeah, I mean, there's a lot of background there. I mean, I can understand why it's not going to change much against Cyber Dragon, because if you think about it, you have a Rhinoceros which cold detach can say, hey, my dude, I'm going to destroy your core. Next turn, Ash is going to say, my core is in the grave, I can use it to special summon the Cyber Dragon. Or, the Cyber Dragon core is in the grave, you banish it using Overflow. That's another selection you have. So let's see that. Maybe she will release the Cyber Dragon's Xyz in the future, I don't know. We'll see, Jovinthira. I don't know if they're gonna release the Xyz, but it's gonna be late that they release it. I do like that reply, "You made mistake," because I understand it means LMAO pal, but in Portuguese. You're funny. LMAO. No, there's quite a good bunch of monsters on the side of JW, but I'm not sure he's gonna make any Xyz. The other problem is... Well, actually, he's gonna go for an Xyz. He has a monster. He has a monster. He has to do something. Unless he wants to have a monster that he's attacking and all, but... I do think eventually there's going to be an Xyz. Alright, so making the Gagaga Samurai pretty much normal because you know that it is the effect of monster to make an Xyz, but you can only special summon Gagaga monsters. And he is boosting the Rhino's boss, gets to special summon the codes. This man has the field so far. But we know there's an overflow, so that eventually is going to happen. Cosmic Cyclone? Okay. Another one? Wait, he drew Overflow, right? Yeah, he drew Overflow, but he didn't have enough. Hiya. Yeah, that's GG then. That's GG. I think there was a way for him to sort of take time. The decision was interesting, but I don't think that was the good one. There was clearly a way for him to sort of gain time, despite having the 2 Cosmic Cyclones, because you're going for the overflow, sorry. You could pretty much set up with the Cyber Style and try to use the effect and destroy 2 monsters at least. That was still a bad hand, but I do think he had a way to at least destroy more cards, get to use Cyber Style, even if it's not for fusion. But I don't think that will have been easy at all for Ash. So far JW is streaking. That's going to be 7 to 9. 1 deck left. Sam is very close for victory. But is Sensei going to be able to come back? And I'm seeing the first and last repeat on the side. Oh, sorry, no, it's not this one. On the side of Sensei. So we're gonna get to see Cyber Dragon again. Alright, let's see what's gonna happen though. Alright, no, it's gonna change because Onomate had the first turn. No, the first turn goes for Ash, and that's not gonna be the same. It's gonna get quite the replies, the destructions. But it also depends if you have the core in hand or not. That's all you want. Alright, he is going to have Heat Wave, which is very dirty. You know what Heat Wave does. Players cannot add cards to the hand unless by doing the draw phase, and they can only set monsters. And welcome Cancer. KKK indeed. Hello. Alright, sending 1, 2, 3 cards. He's still having some back row. But is it gonna be enough against Ash though? Because Ash is gonna begin having replies. Alright, so the normal summoning the Cyber Dragon core here. So drawing for the overflow with the effect of the Cyber Dragon core, no fusion. Setting 3 cards and he's gonna go for battle. Now he's gonna end the turn. He could have tried to bet that it is a code, but I mean, to get some loss on the life points, I don't think it is really worth. So he does good on taking the time here. Alright, so he flips the glove, and thanks to the glove, he's going to be able to special summon the Utopic. Alright, so CC, which is going to force a Forbidden Lens, trying to do it on the core, fair enough. This is nice though. That Forbidden Lens is going to be poisoned because this is forcing Ash to go for the overflow. Otherwise he's not going to be able to tribute it. Okay, what did Ash have in the first game? So first game he had, okay, he had 2 CC, Herald, the core, overflow was set. And I think the last card was in his hand, but I don't know what it is. Last card we don't know. But he had the overflow being set because he has drawn it with the core. So Book of Moon has also stopped the effect of the overflow, which is again really solid. Ooh, that's getting spicy. Going for the core bash, very good. Yet again, because there's a face down, you're going to be pushing it back to the deck. Alright, so I don't think JW has lethal, but he is going to be taking the time this time though. Actually, no, I'm speaking too fast. He's having Sister. Can special summon a monster, then use the bolt if he wants. But does he want to force it though? I think he's gonna want to, but I'm not sure. Like, he doesn't have a real need to do it, he just needs to maybe use Sister and that's all. Or like, use Sister in attack or something. Alright, he's trying to make an Exceed right now. And trying for the balls. That's gonna end up being a Book of Moon onto the coat. And because the position was changed, he's gonna be able to retrieve an overlay for the core badge, of course. Any dream mirrors? Has none. I'm still waiting for this deck. I'm not gonna lie. I'm hoping to see someone playing Dread Mirror with, like, I don't know, something. Honestly, the one who's able to make a deck with Dread Mirror that works pretty well, he deserves the raise. Because it's such a meme of a deck, unfortunately. But it is what it is sometimes with, like, unique ideas. Like, sometimes you know the idea is there, but it's just not well executed. Nice attack from the core attacking the code, and also 2 set cards, which is very good for him. Now with the core he has drawn for the Cyberlet Fusion, but he doesn't have yet the setup for that. Or else... No, actually no, that wouldn't be possible because the core was actually sent back to the deck, which is different. But what's very good for Ash though is that he got the insane top deck with the core. Onomatopoeia being used on the side of JW, getting the Utopic. And he's gonna go for an Season here. Actually, I do still think he's gonna go for the Rhino as a bus setup, but I don't think he can go for more plays at that point. He could try to force things, but he has to be sure that there's nothing. He's going for the attack. The attack is done. Attacks again, and that's not gonna be a drowning phase done. That's gonna be it. And that's gonna be the end of the war. SEM taking the victory from a comeback, pretty much in the second half of the war. That's gonna end up being 7-10. Really solid war from the 2 teams here. Honestly fantastic. Got to see very unique players from some of the players here. And also very interesting picks as well. So congratulations for SEM getting the victory here against Sensei, which also is going to be the first loss for Sensei, funnily enough. But you know, Sensei is still in a good spot. They have 4 wins. This is only the first loss. They can still make it to top 3, top 2 in their division. And then this is going to allow them to qualify for playoffs. SEM though, they're may be able to come back. They're getting the second victory, so we'll see what's gonna happen with this team. But you know, really solid war. I was very happy to cast this war, and again, thanks so much to the staff team was for allowing me to cast this game. And also Z+G, which I don't know if he's sleeping, but the man, the referee, still alive, I guess. Shout out to you. And to me, that is it. My job is done. I'm gonna be making a raid. I don't know to who, but let me just take the time for that. Yes, you're here. Nice. Alright, let me see how I can raid. I guess we're gonna go for some Duel Links content again. Let me see if I can find someone nice. Alright, you know what? I'm actually going to be streaming a Team Wars now. Let me see, there's 2 games, Clone. Actually, no, let me just actualize it. I think they changed it. Let me see. Okay. Okay, I was right. Alright, let me actually raid for Hazy for fun. The man is actually going for another kind of... how should I say? He's streaming the second war right now, so let me just end the prediction right now here, and we're gonna end up with raid on Hazy's channel. One of the main leaders of, well, one of the main staff within the Team Was group. So for the curious, I'm gonna write the WAF for those that wants to watch it. Otherwise, feel free to watch whatever you want. So this is Karadas with his Chicks with Decks. I'm gonna be curious for that war. I'm just going to stay here later because I have stuff to do, but I'm gonna be sending some salutations to the man Hazy. And yeah, guys, I think that's it for me. Have a good day, have a good evening, and see you next time, guys. I'll actually see you later, by the way. Peace.